Hi. Welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Once again, welcome to Live with Ms. Steph. Today is May 11th, 2025. It also happens to be Mother's Day here in the United States. I acknowledge that in other locations, Mother's Day actually does not happen on the second Sunday in May. And so I just want to kind of acknowledge that for folks. But just coming on quickly to say hello to you and to remember that we are committed to coming on live and celebrating the various things that are happening at Ms. Steph Science Club. On yesterday, we had our final Saturday Science Club of the school year. Yes, folks, life is moving. And today, like I said, some folks here in the U.S. are celebrating Mother's Day. I want to take the opportunity to acknowledge the various moms that we have at Science Club. And in particular, I want to extend my appreciation. And I actually said this at church today. I extend my appreciation to all of the moms who have allowed us at Triple F Empowerment Inc. to play a role in your child's life. I had a lovely experience on Friday evening with a long-standing science clubber. Actually, he's one of the original science clubbers, and this young man actually was with me when I was the director over at New Song Learning Partnership. I revere him. I consider him my longest standing student. And I got to see him on Thursday evening. He actually texted me and said, hey, would you like to go to a concert with me and my mom? And then on Friday afternoon, after I finished over at all of my schools that I do on Fridays, you'll know that on Fridays I'm at 3 different schools. I teach 2 classes at each of the afternoon schools. And so then, though I was tired, it was my joy to be in contact with that family, to still be in contact with the family after 2 different programs, right? This is a student I've had since New Song, right? And he was there the very first year I was directing. He was 5 at the time. And that was in 2006. So that lets you know the amount of time that we keep in contact with young people over here at Ms. Steph Science Club. I also ran into, I think I mentioned this to you all a few weeks back, that I ran into a student that stopped me and was like, did you used to be the teacher at such and such? And I was like, yes. He was like, you look the same. And I was like, well, you look very different, because he's a completely full-grown man. But of course, right here, as a scientist, I observe certain things. There are certain phenotypic characteristics that kind of stay. And right in here, I recognized him. But yeah, my student that I got to hang out with on Friday, his name is Maxwell. You all have heard Maxwell's story. I've shared it before on YouTube and Facebook. A few years back when we were celebrating 10 years, our 10th summer, going into our 10th year of doing programming with Ms. Steph Science Club, he came on and was one of the many people who graced us with their presence. And actually, you should be noticing that here on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube, you're going to start seeing some flashbacks to that time period. The flashbacks for several various years, in particular the Maloneys. You've seen the Maloneys the last couple of days, and we'll be seeing them soon. You're going to see Rosa DeSoto talking about her son Ramel. And I put those up so that you can see and hear from their mouths the impact that Ms. Steph Science Club has had on their children's lives. And it's amazing to me that we are about 3 years since we did our the launch of our 10th year. And so we're super excited to be continuing. Once again, I am very appreciative. I'm appreciative of all the parents, but today is Mother's Day. And so I do highlight the female, caregivers, grandmas and moms that, and aunties that make a point to bring their child to Ms. Steph Science Club. We are excited to continue our work of supporting young people in getting their STEAM education experiences through our camp classes, community, and consulting that we provide. And once again, like I said, we wrapped up Saturday Science Club yesterday. We will return for regular Saturday Science Club sessions in October. I do have an update I originally was saying that Wadley was our rain location. That is no longer the case. We are hoping to not need a rain location for the meetup this coming Saturday on May 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. over at Morningside Park, Morningside Avenue and 116th Street. At that intersection, you see this lovely, relatively new-ish play area, and so that's where we will be meeting. The children will be predominantly playing and enjoying each other's company. I do have a couple of activities that we're going to do that easily kind of go back into the environment. They don't hurt the environment. One of them being something that I'll show you tomorrow during the Live with Ms. Steph episode, which would be our gel string experiment that we like to do. And I haven't done it in a while, and I was like, hey, I didn't do that experiment yet this year, so I definitely will be bringing that to my students this week, and so I'm super excited to do that. Then we'll do elephant toothpaste the following week, and of course, the Soda Rockets the final week of May at all of our Traveling Science Teacher locations. Traveling Science Teacher, hi. Thank you for watching Live with Ms. Steph. I'm just coming on really quickly to celebrate the moms that have engaged with Ms. Steph Science Club, to extend my appreciation for moms who have sent their children to Science Club, and actually giving everybody a quick little update. I really appreciate you specifically. Thank you so much. And before I log off, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about that. My friend is saying happiest of Mother's Days to me. In Harlem, it's something I had to get used to. And it's something that I have now really come to appreciate and acknowledge. In Harlem in particular, I don't know if it's done in other communities, but in Harlem in particular, one of the things that I started to learn when I first moved here was that there is a practice of saying Happy Mother's Day to any woman you see on the street with great joy, with great respect. And I celebrate that now as a person who has had their mother transition and is no longer on this side of the living. Sometimes it used to confuse me, and I also do not have children who live in my home, who I've raised in the home, even though you all know I've been raising kids for some time now and helping families with that. I was surprised. I was like, so we say it to everybody? Yes. Now I definitely am like, yes, and I very openly receive it. Yes, we say it to all the women who are here in the community, participating in the lives of children and helping raise, because as we all know, it takes a village. And that's what made Friday evening so special, because Max's mom in particular does consider me his second mom. And she always calls me my villager, my villager. And so that's a lesson, one of the many lessons I have learned over the years of doing this work and participating, in particular in the Harlem community. So shout out to Harlem. I thank you for the way that you have welcomed me. I thank you for that lesson that you have given me and that you give all of us. So when we say Happy Mother's Day, even though maybe you might not have a child in your home, notice how I don't even specifically consider it for women, only saying women who've birth children. But if you're a part of the raising of somebody or somebodies, again, one of the parents today at church of a whole nother kid, he was like, the dad, was like, happy Mother's Day to you too, because you're helping with a lot of children. I mean, especially those of us who really genuinely care for, like, I'm on well over 1,000 kids in person on an annual basis. And so it's super appreciative. I am super appreciative of Harlem for teaching me that lesson and that practice. So I say to you, just like my friend is saying here, happiest of Mother's Days to you. I do acknowledge and hold space for those where the day is sensitive. I'm not going to go into detail because that's not what this post is about. Sensitive for you. But again, happiest of Mother's Day to you. Thank you so much for allowing us, Ms. Steph Science Club, the whole housed by Triple F Empowerment Inc. I thank you for allowing us to be a part of your children's lives. And I look forward to continuing on and doing different things. Again, I want to really reiterate, May 17th, Wadley is closed for construction. And so if there is rain, definitely make sure you're keeping an eye on social media, because I will be posting on social media if it happens to rain. I do absolutely hope it does not. I do really, really genuinely hope that we get to have our play day outside. Okay? So keep in contact, keep in touch. Have an absolutely wonderful